Document automation makes it much easier to upgrade your document management system. It reduces the risk of human errors and frees up time for your team. In this video, we'll explore the concept of document automation and I'll show you how you can get started using DoxFlowy. So what is document automation? Simply put, it's the ability to generate a complete and accurate document from a template automatically. You build the document once, identify what parts change, and from that point, the system handles the rest. The way it works is straightforward. Your document gets turned into a smart template with variable fields, things like a client's name, a date, or a payment amount. Those fields get collected through a form. When the form is submitted, the document generates itself with all the correct information already in place. What makes DoxFlowy particularly good at this is that the whole process, template, form, signing, and storage lives in one place. This way, you're not jumping between tools or manually moving information from one system to another. In this video, we're going to walk through the step by step. By the end of it, you'll have a working automated document workflow and a clear picture of what's possible once the foundation is in place. Let's get into it. Here's the document we're working with for the purposes of this video. It's a client service agreement, and if you look at it, most of it never changes. The company's name, the payment terms, and the legal language. All of that stays the same every single time this goes out. What changes instead is a small set of fields like the client's name, address, date, the services rendered, the amount, deposit, and the payment due date. That distinction, what stays versus what changes, is the entire logic behind document automation. The fixed parts get written once, and the variable parts become tags that fill automatically. Let's begin. You'll want to open DoxFlowy and click on Create Document Workflow, and then bring in your documents. Now, you can upload an existing file or build it directly in the editor. In this case, I uploaded our existing file and cleaned it up in the editor. Either works. Once your document loads, you'll see the tags panel on the right side. This is where you manage everything. You'll also notice two roles already set up here, that of the client and service provider. Roles define who is filling in what. The client fills in their own details, and the service provider fills in the service and payment information. Each tag you create gets assigned to the relevant role. Go through the document and highlight every field that changes, convert it to a tag, and assign it to the right role. You'll see here how it looks once it's done. Every variable field is highlighted and labeled: the client's name, the client's address, date, and everything else. Now you'll also notice the conditionals tab next to tags. This is where you add logic that controls what appears in the document based on what gets submitted. The next stop is document settings. This is where you control how the generated document behaves for each person receiving it. You get options like the consent checkbox, show completed documents, and allow user to download documents. They all control what the respondent of the form can or cannot do. In this case, we've already turned on the show completed documents to let the respondent see the finished documents immediately after they fill out the form. In this page, you also get to choose the file type. PDF is the default. You can also set the downloaded file name and use tags to make it dynamic if you wish. In this example, the file name pulls from the client's name and the first service item automatically. This way, each generated document has a unique identifiable name without having to type it in manually. You'll want to go through these settings carefully for each workflow you build, as they save you time from having to handle these details manually every time the document goes out. Now for the form. DoxFlowy reads every tag in your template and builds the intake form automatically. So every tag becomes a question, and you can already see them here populated from the tags we just created. You'll want to click the three dots on any question and you get full control over it. You can mark it as required so it can't be skipped, edit the question text to make it clearer for whoever is filling it out, and a bunch of other options. On the right panel, you'll also see form settings and logic tabs. The logic tab is where conditional form logic lives. You'll want to clean up the form, set your required fields, and add any logic you want at this stage and move on. Before you publish the workflow, there's one more section to set up. This is where you define everything that happens the moment someone hits submit. You have four options here. Enable whichever of these apply to your workflow and configure the details. For most standard workflows, you'll want at minimum the email delivery and the notification. Add signing and webhook if your process requires them. Now, before you hit publish, you can use the preview button right at the top of the screen. It lets you run through the form process exactly as your respondents will experience it without it being live. This is your chance to catch anything that's off, fix whatever needs fixing before anyone else sees it. When everything looks right, hit publish. Once your workflow is live, this is your home base. The analytics dashboard shows you everything that's happening with the workflow in real time. The views, the forms started, the forms completed, submissions, and how many are pending completion. You can see every generated document here and download any of them directly. To get the workflow out, you simply have to hit Share Workflow. You can send the link directly via email from inside DoxFlowy, and that's it. The document generates once they're done filling out the form, and everything you configured in the post submission setup kicks in automatically. This means the right people receive it. The signing sequence starts if you enabled it. A quick tip: before you share the workflow with anyone real, it would be nice to run a test submission yourself. Fill out the form with dummy details and check everything end to end. And ask yourself these questions. Does the document generate correctly? Do the conditional sections work the way you intended? Did the email go to the right place? Does the file name look right? That's document automation with DoxFlowy, from a blank template to a fully running workflow that generates accurate documents in minutes, not hours. Now, DoxFlowy has a free trial and you can have your first workflow running today. I'll drop the link in the description. Drop any questions you have in the comments and we'll see you in the next video.